Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
February is Best Buds month, so I nominated Running Scared. Nominated? Mandated. Why did I write nominated? It's not movie nominations. It's
Yeah,
movie
but 'tis the season for all of the nominations.
whatever. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Oscars, right. Yeah, Running Scared, yes, one of
Running
the
scared.
80s buddy cop movies, this one starring Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. But before we examine how lovable cops who don't play by the rules are, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Yes. And every time I open my notes app, it's like, don't you want to launch this new notes thing? And I'm like, no, no, I do not.
Every time I use the Notes app for shopping lists sometimes, and I'll go to the store, and as I put stuff in my bag, I'll try to delete it. And I don't know what the hell I'm tapping on, but sometimes it like deletes the entire list. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? No, just the one line.
Like, yeah, it's insane. So,
And there's like no, so I don't know if there's like an undo feature. Anyway, trivial
so
trivia.
I tried very hard for this here, trivial trivia, as we're doing buddy comedy or not comedy. Well, we're just doing best buddies,
Best
buddy.
buds.
Buddy the Elf. So as we're doing
Yes.
buddy
If
things,
Kelly mandates one of the like Air Bud movies,
I'm like,
I
best
think Air
bud.
Buddies is one of them or something.
Oh boy. I was thinking to myself, about the the buddy comedy type duos. And we do have a lot of duos, and we're gonna get to that.
Hmm.
Because I thought to myself, that's gonna be too easy if I just have brother, list off movies that famous duos have been in. And you know what? We're gonna get there because I think that, and the reason why is because of the five friends, Dan Hayata, Jimmy Smits, Joey Pants, Gregory Hines, and Billy Crystal,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, the more people in this film than I realized.
only three of them have really been in a movie with the same person more than once. As in, there's a caveat here. It would have to be because we know Jimmy Smits is in Star Wars,
Yeah.
but playing the same character does not count. I have decided in my rules, if you are in a movie like the Fast and the Furious franchise for per se, because none of these people are,
Mhm.
I'm not counting that as I'm in a movie with the same person because that's a franchise. It's more cool when you just happen to be in a movie that has nothing to do with, and you just are with the same actor because you guys are just great on screen together. And you just happen to be in another movie. They're like, hey, Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks, let's just continue to make you guys a couple, right?
Okay.
But they're not sequels. They're
Right.
not in the same franchise. So
Yes.
Jimmy Smits is out. He doesn't act with the same people. And
Okay.
then Hayata was out. He doesn't act with the same people. However, Bruno Kirby, I just fucking did my own thing. Close. Okay, so Billy Crystal has been with Bruno Kirby in
Ye-
two different movies. Can you name those movies?
it was City Slickers, and I think he's in Harry Met Sally too.
He is. He is. Um,
Well,
Gregory
glad we watched
Hines.
that for New Year's Eve a few years ago.
Yes, yes, yes. Gregory Hines has been with Whitney Houston. I know, isn't that exciting? In two movies. Can you name those movies? No, you can't.
Is
No, you
one of them
can't.
the bodyguard?
No, it's not. I'm going to tell
And
you
I
because I
can't
know for a fact. I
then
know.
no. What other movie was she in?
The Preacher's Wife and Waiting to Exhale.
Okay. Uh,
Very exciting.
movie titles I have heard.
Yes,
I, yeah, okay. Wouldn't have got that one.
yes. No, and this is not the trivia. This is just a conversation. The trivia is
Oh,
on this page. This is a
Okay.
conversation.
Hey, did you know that Whitney Houston passed away? Did you
You're
hear?
hilarious. You're hilarious. Joey Pants.
Because I heard that like 10 years after the I'm like, why'd no one tell me?
Joey Pants
Hey,
has
Pants.
been in two movies with Carrie-Anne Moss.
Okay.
Do you know what movies they are?
Well, one's The Matrix.
Indeed it is, which means you can't use any other Matrix.
Well, he's
He's dead.
not in any of the other Matrix. So, um, uh,
Mhm. They don't have many scenes together, but they both play very important roles in this here feature film by Christopher Nolan.
probably haven't seen it. Um, is it Interstellar?
No, it's not. It has Guy Pearce in it.
Is it Memento? Boy,
Yes, yes,
I've
it is.
I've seen that movie
Have
too.
you?
I
Yeah.
can't, man, I have no memory of either of them in that movie.
They play the other two characters who are not Guy Pearce.
There's three people in the movie. They're the other two. Okay.
They're two people who are not Guy Pearce. Anyways, but I just thought that was interesting because I was really trying to figure out,
Now,
like,
I would have hit Memento eventually just going for
yes,
Nolan films, but
yeah, but I just thought it was very interesting in general. But no, we're gonna go here. Famous duos. I'm gonna name them. You have to tell me at least two movies that they have been in together. We are gonna start with easiest and most movies. Matt
okay.
Damon and Ben Affleck.
Okay. Good Will Hunting.
Yep, you have to at least name two. You can go off on
Um,
yourself if you'd like. There's
Dogma.
several. Yep, there you go. Helena Bonham Carter and Johnny Depp.
The any Tim Burton movie, pretty much.
You're like Tim Burton.
Yeah, well, okay. Let's see. The Demon
Yep.
Barber of Sweeney Todd,
Yep.
and Alice in Wonderland.
Yep. Will Ferrell and John C. Riley.
Uh, Step Brothers?
You are correct.
I almost said brothers. I'm like, no, it's Step Brothers. Talladega Nights.
That is correct. They are also in Holmes and Watson.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Vince Vaughn
All
and
movies I've
Owen
never seen.
Vince Vaughn and Owen
Love John
Wilson.
C. Riley, but Will Ferrell just
Love John C.
yeah,
Riley.
it's just the humor doesn't align with mine for some reason.
Mr. Cellophane. Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson.
Wedding Crashers.
Correct. And I don't know if you'll get this one,
Uh,
although I saw the movie and I thought it was really cute.
is he in Zoolander by any chance?
I actually don't think Vince Vaughn is in Zoolander.
I mean, again,
But
another
it
movie I
is
haven't
it's
seen, but can you hint?
they work, I think they go to work at a big tech company. It might actually be Google or it could be fake Google
Uh,
just for reasons.
no,
The
not
internship. No? Okay. And finally, and this is the one that I found the hardest, actually.
all movies I have not seen. I don't think I've seen any of these. Oh, with the exception of I did see Sweeney Todd.
And that's funny because that's the one I haven't seen for reasons, for Kelly Eisen reasons.
Oh yeah.
Um, Here we go. Brad Pitt and George Clooney have actually been in more than just the Oceans films together. Can you name one of the other movies other than the Oceans that they've been in together?
It's Cohen's film, Burn After Reading. Is
Yes.
that it?
Go off with your bad self.
Speaking of
Thank
Coens, I,
you.
I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs the other week,
And yeah, the
and
first one is fine, and
the
then they
first
all are kind of
the,
like,
the first anthology, the actual Ballad of Buster
yes, the
Scruggs.
actual ballad of
Going in,
him.
I did not know it was a anthology film.
I
I was
did not
like,
either.
oh, goody! Like, if any Coen Brothers movie has a chance to please me, it's going to be an anthology movie, and
Nope.
I think I'm I think I've seen enough of their oeuvre now to just say, you know what, I think the Coen brothers are just not for me.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
some of their movies are like close. Like I think the closest one to uh was No Country for Old Men. That
That was
one
a good
was
movie.
almost there.
We
Not quite.
so
I've
this
seen I've seen No Country for Old Men. I've seen Buster Scruggs.
yep,
I've
yep,
seen Is a brother where art thou? That's Coen Brothers, right?
yep.
Yeah. So
And
that
you've seen Burn After Reading. Yes?
I've not
Question
seen
mark?
Burn After Reading.
No need.
Um,
I have.
oh God, what else? Fargo, saw Fargo.
Yep, yep.
Pretty sure I've seen something else.
And there's like funny
There's moments I enjoy,
moments. Yes.
but as overall films, I just don't.
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
after seeing four or five Coen Brothers films, I think it's like, you know what? I think I just don't like the Coen Brothers sense. I just
yeah.
vibe with their filmic sensibilities.
Yeah, it's a long walk to the next good moment for me in their films. It's like, all
Mhm.
right, that was great. Oh, all right, sit back and relax until the next, yeah, just kind of funny looking moment,
Technically, they're fine. They know how to shoot a film. I'll give them that.
Oh, heck yes.
Gorgeous stuff. They
Beautiful.
wring great performances out of their actors,
I was just about to say that too. They do know how to get a great performance out of
but good, great
our
golly, I
folks.
just genuinely don't like the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So
But yeah, no, it was really funny to me because when I was putting together this list, because I was thinking like I don't want to go the old school
name
you know,
two Abbott and Costello movies.
yeah, I was like, I just want, but the thing that I find very interesting is like the list of people who do the buddy comedy stuff, because you have like Will Ferrell and John C. Riley, but like and Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, but like, Owen Wilson also buddies up with what's his ass? Ben Stiller and like, you know,
Now he Zoolander that I know he's in that one.
and like
Another
Vince
movie I haven't
Vaughn
seen.
buddies up with the other Wilson or like Luke Wilson also, but like so it's like there's like five of them and they all just share co-stars, it's like this weird sort of like, hey, I need another just funny dude, and like every now and then like there's no funny guy available and they're like, hey, David Spade, what's up? No, I'm joking. Like I don't know.
Pardon.
Um but so that's why I was like, I'm just gonna stop at Will Ferrell and John C. Riley and Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, because after a moment it's like, okay, and then Owen Wilson and this person, and then this person and this it's just like this chain of
You
six
know what
degrees
was
of
you know what era was really common where you had like stars working together? It was like the 40s, later 30s and the 40s, because you had
well, they were owned.
like William Powell and Myrna Loy. Well, they were owned by the studios. Yeah, they owned these actors, and they're like, you're just gonna make movie after movie after movie.
Yeah.
So that's why you got a lot of these actor pairs showing up in so many movies throughout that era.
Yeah.
Um, I'm I'm not well. I'd really struggle to answer that kind of a trivia question. I'd be like, I'd end up everyone going, "Oh yeah, that's right,"
Oh
probably
yeah,
something
that
like
one.
that.
Oh
But
yeah, no, yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
yeah, I don't have the experience or the filmic education from that era, though I've seen probably more than from those eras of film than most people my age. So
That is true.
yeah.
I would agree with you on that. You probably have.
You know,
Yeah.
when we were kids, kids our age would be like, "Oh, black and white, that's so ancient."
Oh
And
my
now,
God.
kids today are like, "Oh, stuff from the 80s? It's the last century. It's so ancient." It's like, "Oh gosh, we're very old now."
Yeah. It was really funny. Jeremy's actually saying this morning he wants someone to redo Back to the Future and like just make it like actually update it for they're going back today to like the
2055 or something like that.
or like to the 80s or
They go back to the
to
80s.
the
For
80s
the
just
first
to
movie, they go back to the 80s, and then the second movie they go forward to the like the 2050s or something.
yeah or something just
And then
to
and then in like I don't know, I forget how far back they go. In the third movie, they could go like the depression or something. I don't
yeah
know. They probably have
yeah
to go back a little bit further than that, but
because I think it was like what the 1860s or whatever that they went
I'm not sure exactly.
to.
It's probably 19th century somewhere, so you'd have to put it in early 20th maybe. So
Okay. Yeah.
the Roaring Twenties or the
Yeah.
Depression era or something.
Yeah. Yeah. You would. It just that he was like, because when then we were talking about like, you'd have like the big car phone or the suitcase phone or
Oh,
whatever.
how terrible would that be? Like, if Marty went back to, if the movies were made like,
Like kids would have
50,
no idea what to do with all that.
yeah,
They'd be like, why do you have to carry around your phone in a suitcase?
right. If Robert Zemeckis made Back to the Future like 15 years earlier, Marty would have been going back to the 40s, like World War II era, and instead of, oh gosh, my mom has a sex life that and she drinks. Oh my gosh. He'd be like, oh shit, my grandparents are Nazis.
Yeah, yeah. That like, let's not touch that one. Let's not touch that one.
It's like, oh, that's not as funny.
Yeah,
My
we're just
dad was a
gonna.
peeping Tom and my mom was a normal teenager. I don't know
Yeah.
how to deal with that. It's like, oh, grow
Yeah.
up.
My dad's kind of a felon, but
Uncle
but
Joey or whoever it was.
we're just
Get
we'll
used to
just
these bars,
which
kid.
which brings us to some of the things I want to talk about with running scared,
Yeah.
but that's for the running scared conversation. But how did you hear about this movie? Like, did you look up buddy cop films? I like that I had to do the this is how you type. I hope
Um,
that's not how you type. Like so
I I did. I wrote down a few that I had in mind,
okay.
and then I just looked up a list of similar films, and Running Scared was one I I'm trying to no, I think it was Running Scared we mentioned back when we did White Nights. Because
Mm.
Gregory Hines was in that. I think we'd mentioned it was a buddy cop movie with Billy Crystal, and I think that was in the back of my head. Uh, there's another one. It was kind of between this and there's a it's Charles Grodin's in it. Was it I forget what it's called? Midnight Run or Loose Cannons, one of the two. I forget who else is in it, but I watched the trailer for it and went, "Oh wait, I've seen that." So okay, let's go with Running Scared. So.
With De Niro?
No. Let me see. Loose Cannons is Gene Hackman and Dan Aykroyd,
Okay.
which I've never seen, and Midnight Run is Charles Grodin and someone else. Oh, that is De Niro. Yeah, it's De Niro escorting Charles Grodin. Uh,
And that's the one you've seen.
he's a I think he's a bail bond. It's bounty hunter for Bale's bondsman. I think it's what he's doing.
Hmm.
Is, is Joey Pants in that movie too?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Because Joey Pants is everywhere in the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Midnight Run, I remember being a movie, a good movie, one that I quite enjoyed.
nice.
So, but I'd
Cool,
already
cool.
seen it, so that's why I mandated
Running
Run
scared.
Scared. Yep.
Yes. Well, there you go. Very nice. And plus now we have our second Gregory Hines movie.
That's right.
Yay! And he didn't dance, but boy, did he rollerblade in a crop top. So works for me.
Yeah.
I'll take that. So favorite and least favorite parts. Go. Favorite part. the lengths to which they were willing to have an affair.
Yeah.
I am against affairs. I want to be very clear. However, I truly have the stance fidelity. Like one I however you do your relationship, do your relationship. Open relationships, great. But both parties agree. Okay?
Hmm.
This is not one of those relationships.
No.
However,
The schemes were pretty creative and funny.
it was quite funny how they're like, I'll just arrest you tonight and make sure you don't get bailed out till morning so we can just fool around. I'll arrest your husband or boyfriend or live-in partner tonight so that
Whoever.
you're free so we can fool around. Like, I mean, and her face, like they're just down the street, they're like, hey, and she's like, oh, you guys. And I'm like,
Now,
what's going
yeah, I mean, it would have been better if whoever that guy was like I don't know, Chet from Weird Science, Bill Paxton's
on?
character.
Some
Just
ass
this
clown.
loathsome, risible asshole who deserves every bad thing that happens to him, right? That
But
could make
he's
that
just a
funny.
nice guy. He's just a
Just some
regular
guy,
nice
right?
guy. Yeah. Yeah. And I agree. But it again, like I said, I don't condone it, but like
The
you,
schemes
the
were pretty
schemes,
funny in
the schemes,
isolation.
yeah.
Even
Um,
if in context it's a little gross.
a little gross, a little skeezy, a little like, oh man, it makes me think a little less of you guys.
Hmm.
I'm not super thrilled with the situation, but
Particularly since Gregory Hines is banging anything on two legs. Um, Although
mm,
I must say that quick little montage down in Florida where they're driving the mopeds,
yeah,
and every time a truck passes in the foreground, he's got a different gal on the back of his bike. I'm like,
yes,
okay, that's pretty creative. That's funny. I like that.
yeah, that was pretty funny. I did like that too. So,
Again,
um,
in isolation, that's pretty funny. In context, a little
it,
skeevy and gross.
again, there are some things that I think the thing that I find interesting about this movie is that it is so 80s.
Hmm.
In formula, it is 80s in the way that that they do that quintessential cop stance, just big wide legs, big wide squatting legs. Yes, holding the gun straight out. I went to no training. I just, the director was like, I would like Gregory Hines
Do
and
what
Billy
they do in the
Crystal,
movies.
and this is how cops are portrayed in movies. So, where in the course of human events,
It doesn't
who,
say.
who, who? I'm an owl.
Who the hell directed this? I didn't even look.
Unknown.
Peter Hyams. Okay.
So,
Write the name.
when was it
I think.
that some director said, hold up, wait a minute, don't go there? No. What director was it that said, I want to be a little bit more realistic? And I want my actors to actually go to combat training and look like they could be on a SWAT team or look like they could be on a football team. Like when did reality start seeping in? Because it is very,
Later 90s, I think.
yeah.
When they
Okay.
started like training actors to do stuff.
Yes.
Like The Matrix is probably one of the earlier examples I can think of just off the top of my head because they really put their actors through martial arts and gun
Yeah.
training because they wanted that to look good.
Yeah.
In the
Okay.
80s, a lot of times they'd hire people who just look good. Your Schwarzeneggers, Van Damme, Stallone,
Yeah.
just big, brutish, muscly
Muscle
guys
guys
who
who
know how to
you would
pose.
believe.
Right. Van Damme can do the splits. Schwarzenegger can flex. They all look cool holding guns and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really need to do much. You just put them on set and say, look cool.
Yeah.
There are plenty of actors who know how to work the camera. They know where the camera is and they know how to pose just to look damn cool.
Right. Right. And
Wesley
that
Snipes is one of them. He's just a guy who can just be cool.
he knows how to
But
mug.
yeah,
Yeah.
he knows how to do that. Um, as we moved out of the 90s, we and these actors just got older. We didn't really have these big beefy boys who replaced them. So
No.
we had to start training actors and put them through possibly dangerous fitness and diet routines to get them all bulked up and shredded for movies and train them for how to hold guns because I know
Yeah.
they put Keanu Reeves through even more gun stuff for like the John Wick movies. Um, and interviews with actors, usually the actors, at least if they're being honest in their interviews, they usually say it's fun, because it's not a commitment. It's just something you do for 3 months to maybe 6 months, and you get paid a lot of money for it, and
Oh,
it's
sure.
just fun. So
Yeah.
I haven't heard from many actors who are like, usually the only time I hear from an actor who's like, that was friggin' horrible, I don't ever want to do that again. It's usually when there's like some really complicated prosthetics that they have to sit in a chair
It's
have applied for. I had to get up at 2 in the morning and have 6 to 8 hours of prosthetic makeup, and you can't breathe, you can't sweat, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't sit down. It's terrible. I hate it. I don't want to do it anymore.
it's either that or water.
Or filming a movie in water. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either that or water. But you're right, that because that is true. There's like even Seagal and stuff, they just got people who already knew martial arts and they couldn't like because yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
but it's
acting.
clear
That's
in Running
interesting.
Scared that the actors, um, Gregory Hines is a performing artist,
Yes, he is.
and Billy Crystal is a comedian,
Oh, and he is.
and they're very good at that.
Indeed,
It's
they
clear
are.
that the director and the writer do not know anything about or care about how to hold guns, how
Nope.
crime works, how laws work, how police works, how cars or traffic or anything works, and didn't bother to look. The movie really feels like it was written by someone who was a fan of buddy cop movies,
Yes.
wanted to make one,
Yes.
and did their best. Like they enjoy buddy cop movies, but they don't really understand why they work, the ones that do anyway. Because this movie sucks.
But
It's
it's so stupidly fun. Okay, tell me this, brother. Billy Crystal,
yes.
do you think so I watched this movie and I liked it because I thought it was of an era and you're right. There was nothing realistic about it. There was nothing like I talked to Fushi this morning. We went out and I told him and he was like, "Would you want to watch it again?" And I'm like, "No. There's nothing about it that makes me need to see it again." It was it was exactly what it needed to be. It was there was never a time that I was like, "Oh my God, this is like it was not bad. It was not a like I had fun watching it. I laughed watching it, but it was literally because of the two of them
Yes.
and nothing else really. They are great together.
Oh, yeah.
They are so fun to watch. And I think if it wasn't for the two of them, you wouldn't be endeared with some of the that they do. But what I was going to say about Billy, yeah, exactly. But what I was going to say about Billy Crystal, because there's some interesting things. I was thinking about him doing this movie, and I was like, I think that Ryan Reynolds is very much or like Billy Crystal. I was thinking about that, and I believe in my thoughts. I know that that is weird, but because there are some things that Ryan Reynolds can say in movies and like some of the inflection that no one else can say it like that and make it sound the way that he can make it sound.
Army?
And you just think to yourself, no one else could like anyone like it just fits. And you think, and I looked at Bill and I thought to myself, if that character was written now, they would get some, arse like Ryan Reynolds to come in and like just, schlock it up. Because also the thing, and I was like, that's so, because Billy Crystal's character also fancied himself to be a lady killer, even though, he was hung up on his ex-wife. But like, he was dating some girls down in Miami and like he was trying to chat up the girl at the bar that ended up going home with, Gregory Hines. So it's like he was
That's
still
an awkward scene.
what an awkward scene. But like, so it was just such an interesting thing. And by the
And the editing
way,
is weird because that scene just starts out of nowhere, and you're like, "What? Where are we? What are we
yeah,
doing?
there's a
Wait,
there's a lot of
are we on a weird date where you're both trying to pick up the same woman? Is that what is going on here?"
I think they are. I think they're just like, one of us is going home with you. Which one is it going to be? And I'm like,
It's like
that is
choose, but
awkward.
choose wisely for the false grail, blah blah blah. Um, and
But
then
anyways,
the next
yeah.
morning, and then it cuts to the next morning. I don't know which building we're in or where we are.
We're in like the Ghostbusters firehouse that he
Yeah,
lives in,
yeah,
apparently.
and so he brings Gregory and the lady some postcoital donuts,
Yeah,
which that's really awkward. But on the other hand, postcoital donuts.
yeah,
I don't know if I'd turn my nose up at postcoital donuts,
yeah.
no matter who brought them.
But like, I will say the one thing
What the
about it
hell
is,
are you doing? Oh my God, Bavarian cream.
I know. Oh, well, thank you. Maple Long John. I don't mind if I do.
Does he have
Um,
hair claws?
but at least, like, I will say their ride or die mentality with each other is consistent.
Yes.
And I,
Although the film tries to put in like a conflict halfway through with I'm recognizing my own mortality, so I'm going to start wearing a vest and play it safe for the next month, and then they just kind of don't anymore.
well, and that's the whole thing about the running scared. So that's what that's the whole
I
idea
guess that's
about the
where the title
title.
comes from, but
Yeah,
that's not much of the movie, honestly.
because and that's, I'm gonna burp or hiccup.
Okay,
Let's
well,
see
while
what it
you do
comes out
that, this
as.
movie to me felt like they wanted to make a running
Ooh,
scared television series, and that didn't get off the ground. And so they took like the six scripts
interesting.
that they had and they just made it a movie because it's very episodic because you have the opening bit with Joey Pants, and then you have the stuff with Jimmy Smits, and then you have the adventure down in the Keys,
Hmm.
and then you have the stuff with the oh our mortality stuff with the vests, and then it's like, oh, by the way, here you guys are going to train these new people. I'm like, it feels like
Yeah,
it almost feels like they adapted four or five storylines from a television show into a film. It's really oddly structured, and while there are a lot of the things that are set up do pay off, like the vest just pay off later. Oh, I bet he's going to get shot. Yeah, he does.
yeah.
So um it just not a very well written movie.
No, what there's, I think, I don't know if you're right. I didn't look into this movie at all because I just don't
Yeah,
care.
I didn't care
But
to research this
it
one.
is a very interesting thing that you say, because I will admit, um, that although I liked it, because again, I just had a fun time watching these two be great. And it's fun when you just watch two people be fun. Um, but there were so many things that were introduced out of the blue that either and didn't pay off, or were never introduced that had a fruition that you were like, but why was that there in the first place? I don't ever remember it getting introduced organically. They just were like, aha. And so it's like, but so I do see what you're saying about that being like, it should have been like a, you know, 8 series something of, so that you could have, and here's the new people who are going to come in handy later, but at least we'll have an
Yeah, and it's
episode to
not like the two
introduce
people
them
they train aren't set up earlier in the movie. They are, but then they kind of drop the whole training thing until it just kind of comes back
until
later, like an, oh yeah, we were doing that. Kind of,
yes, it's very much
it's
so. And then
really
they just
weird.
show up. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very interesting thing. And the part that when I first asked what's your favorite and least favorite part, my least favorite part,
Oh yeah, you never
because
got to your least favorite part.
and it bothered the hell out of me. And then I'll tell you my like rolling eyes part. But anyways, um, is when there's they have Joey Pants,
Hmm.
and again, everything he does is great. As well. Again, great casting in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So they have Joey Pants at this moment, and they are they're getting held up and by these two criminals who are like, give
Oh,
us
in
your
the alley.
money
Right, right, right. Yeah.
in the alley, and then the criminals get in the car and they're trying to get away, and the garbage truck or something comes, they're like, ha ha ha, and they get their firearms out, and they get in their big quintessential I'm a cop in the
They're low
80s stance,
squatting, locked armed shit.
and
Yeah.
they fire at the car.
Yes.
And I think to myself, oh my, that's bold.
That's a bit much.
But you think, okay, they're obviously taking out the tires, right?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Or even like the engine, right?
Right? Or they're just firing at the ground or aside to it just to freak these out.
And to
Because
be
like
clear, the two passengers in the vehicle that they're shooting at were attempted muggers.
yes,
Armed, but no one
armed.
shot at anybody. They just ran away.
They just ran away.
Once they figured out
No
they were cops, they ran
value
away.
exchange of anything. Again,
Didn't
bad.
actually steal anything. They're like, give us your money. And they're like, we're cops, dummy. And it's like, oh shoot, and ran.
Yeah, bad people, bad
Yes.
people.
Bad guys
But
need to go to jail.
yes, yes.
They'll suffer the consequences of their actions.
Because if I were driving a car and someone had a gun pointed at me and fired anywhere in the vicinity, they could fire in the air, they could fire like down my nose, like on the side of my car or something, I would swerve. You don't need to
I would
fire it.
panic. I'm not sure exactly what I'd do with the car. It would probably
Okay, fair
try to
enough.
get away from the person shooting.
Fair enough. I don't know what, but like
Yeah.
there would be a slamming on the brakes
Yeah, yeah.
moment. Anyways, the point is they shot the windshield.
On
The
purpose.
on purpose because then they shoot the windshield and I'm like, oh my God.
They
Oh,
just killed these
they
guys.
just killed those guys. Like that's literally what I thought. I'm like,
They just Sonny Corleone this
they
son of a
just full
bitch.
on killed those guys. And then they actually argue about like, I hit it. No, you always aim too low. And I'm like, cause you should be going for the tires, you jack off. Like it, I was like, oh, because and then later in the movie, when they have that oh, just call me Mr. Butterfingers. The
That's
guy
Tommy Mo
who
Phillips, but okay, I know who you're talking about.
is it not?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
It's not. It looks just like him. It must be his twin brother.
It's
Is it really? Who
yeah,
is it?
that's Larry Hankin. It's a
Similar
similar
vibe.
yeah,
Big
not
old
the same
vibe.
guy, but
Emo vibes. Get it. Um, so emo vibe man, he tricks out their car and like specifically they talk about making
apparently
the
is a guy
wind.
that the police have on the payroll or something. I'm not sure who this guy is or why
I don't
they have
know,
their own
but
queue for some reason.
yeah. But they specifically talk about we need to have bulletproof windows. And I'm like, So you know that bullets can penetrate a windshield. Okay, the men survive.
Yeah, oh
Like
yeah,
they
there's a
they
scene
both get
where
out of
where
the
they
car.
they stumble out of the car. I'm like, oh, okay, they managed to miss every shot because the windshield has like 5 or 6 bullet holes in it. I'm like, oh, they did. It's like apparently they missed.
Full on. Full on. I'm like, so that to me, I was like, I'm not okay with this moment in life.
Yes,
The other moment that I thought was, I will say the two things that one thing I appreciated about this movie though, is how every time they our main characters thought that they could get their informant to like flip, they didn't. Like every time they're like, all right, Joey Pants, we're gonna put a wire on you, we're gonna do this, you're gonna be our man on the inside, blah 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 blah. Like, because we got you, and we're gonna blah, whatever we're gonna give you, whatever immunity for this, that, or the other thing, you do this for us, our tit for tat situation. And then Joey's like, you can count on me. And then he's like, by the way, pink underwear Jimmy Smits, I got a wire down my pants, let's tricks the cops. And then the same thing with the tattooed
the
friend,
informant, yeah, the
the
street,
other inform the
yeah.
CI. They just go to him and they're like, hey, we got you, you're gonna do this for us, and even though you screwed us over 2 times already, we're gonna believe you this time. And he's like, I got you, go do this. And then I'm like they get, I kind of think it's
They're
funny
actually
that
really bad at their
they're
job.
very bad at their
Dan
jobs.
Hedaya, who plays the police commissioner, it seems to be of the opinion if I let them shoot enough bullets, eventually, odds of the probability is they'll hit the bad guy eventually.
Yeah,
And by the end of the movie, they actually do hit the bad guy. They don't kill him, so they
eventually.
have to hit him again, but
I was like, eventually, because they hit him and then they hit him again. But I I I I think it's funny because there's a scene in which they infiltrate Jimmy Smith's place, and Jimmy is his hideout or wherever, and it is.
it's on like a ship that's moving cargo or something. It's like
Oh,
a
this is when he's, I think, in
oh,
the
is it the apartment?
hotel, the
Okay.
apartment, because it's when he's in the pink underwear.
Which, oh, right. The scene with the third gratuitous butt shot in the movie,
Yeah, because here's the thing
which is a
about,
really odd gratuitous butt shot because she's like hugging her 7-year-old son while
also,
moving the camera. I'm like, okay, a little weird.
why is she still naked?
Uh,
And why is he getting dressed? There was an entire gunfight and a tying up of people in the living room.
that
That
lasted for
had to have taken some time. Were they just like, no, no, I'm
gotta
gonna
finish.
finish. I'm gonna finish.
No interruptus to this coitus. We're finishing,
Like,
God damn it. I'm sure it'll stay out in the living room. I'm
it's
sure
gonna be okay. There's a lock on the door. We're fine.
Did you lock the door? Yeah. Oh, it's fine then.
We're fine. We're fine then. Because then
Bullets
he,
don't go through walls.
yeah, we're good. Because then he's running down the
There's
fire
like
escape.
4 guys and your 7-year-old kid out there. I'm sure they can handle this.
We're fine. Let's continue.
Yeah.
But like, because he's
As you were.
actively, as you were, because he's actively putting on a shirt and he's wearing her pink undies or whatever, because he's asking like, throw me down your pants. And I'm like, dude, like that is something you would have done, oh, I don't know, 4 minutes ago. I
Because he can apparently he can hold a hostage. He is so quick, he can put on a pair of pants while holding a
holding
gun
a
to a
hostage.
hostage's head between camera cuts.
I
That's
know.
how fast this guy is. I don't know when he put on those pants, but
I appreciate that they were high waters because Jimmy Smits is tall, but like, and or Billy Crystal be small, one or the other, or both. Both things can be true at once. But it was just, I couldn't. I was like, woman, So you just in bed filing your nails all in like post-coital bliss, and she's like, "Oh, you guys were gonna come into the room? I didn't think that that would happen."
Boundaries.
Excuse, the door was locked for a reason. Yeah,
We
bound.
have to hang a sock on the knob. What? Come on, man.
But yeah, that was definitely a thing. I was like, why are you naked? I mean, I know why you were naked. Why are you still naked?
Still naked.
There's the question mark.
Gunfire should instill a sense of urgency. Don't
Uh,
rush me.
yeah, I'll get there when I get there.
So you're breaking my concentration, goddamn.
Although that might help instead of doing like baseball stats or whatever it is you guys are supposed to be like, oh, this is great. This
It's
works
like,
for me.
you're
This is
lasting
great.
much longer than Nora's. I don't know. Something must be distracting me right now. Maybe it's the gun battle in the next room. I'm having trouble focusing. Imagine she's like, hey, focus right here, buddy. Where's your mind? Oh, I don't know. The gun battle on the other side of the thin wall.
I am your
Remember, I
wife.
need a funnier movie.
Oh my God. I am the greatest good you will ever need.
I'm the greatest good. It's for the greater good. I am the greatest good you'll ever. The Incredibles. Did you see The Incredibles 2?
Did I? I must not have.
Well, if you saw Incredibles 1, you saw Incredibles 2. It's the same movie.
Fantastic.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
the details are different, but it's like all the characters learn exactly the same lessons that they learned in the last movie, and the second movie takes place like the next day. So, I mean, it actually starts off, because the first
which
movie
makes
ends with,
me believe I did see it because
yeah.
like there's a part of me that I'm like, I have vague recollections of just that feeling of like, I feel as if we've regressed a little, friends. Like, did we need a
Yeah,
reminder
it's
so
just,
so soon?
hey, like, wait, this is the
Yeah.
character arcs are exactly the same. What's going on
Yeah.
here? All right, anyway.
So, can we talk about the fact that it's like Billy Crystal was 38 in this movie? I looked this up because I
Oh,
was I was
because we know Gregory Hines' character's 36,
yes.
which I don't know how the police work, but you can just retire at any time. I mean, I guess. And I mean, they've been working, I think they say for 16 years.
16
I imagine
years.
they're vested in whatever pension plan they're in at this point. So,
Well, here's
but
I
can you
think that
retire early?
I
where I work now, you or rather for Social Security, you can't retire until you don't get your retirement until, well, actually, no, I think what's the earliest you can retire? I don't think you can retire in your 30s. I think you can stop working. You can separate from whatever your employment is, but I don't think you can actually retire that earlier. I could
so
be completely wrong. It might
I
be.
don't know if it's a retirement or I like a retirement as you're expecting it, like for like getting actual Social Security benefits retirement. And I could be talking right out of my arse, but because I do know for like military and for like that kind of uh police department governmental work, like those that your life is
Yeah,
literally on the
might
line
might be different there, yeah.
is because like 20 years of service, you get a pension. So like it's a bit and you're in charge of like pension type
Right,
of
because
things. So it's a
they
different sort
talk
of thing. It's
like
a different it's not it's like so you get uh
like
payments, but it's not a retirement fund like a social security or something.
right, but
That
the
might
pension,
come
like
later.
you don't get
Get a
unless it
lot of
works differently. I
money.
don't think you get your pension payments until you retire. However, they do mention
Mm.
that you pay into your pension over the years. If you stop working, you can just take that back, which is true if they're not vested in the employment plan. Like you can cash out, but I think
You'd lose
I
a lot
think
of it.
once you're vested, I think it becomes your retirement plan and you can't pull it until you retire, at least not without some penalty.
Hmm.
Like if I pull money out of my IRA, I think there's a penalty of some sort if I start pulling stuff before I'm retired. But
Right.
again, who cares? That doesn't really matter. It's just like, wait, we're retiring at 36, 38 before we're 40? Can you do that? But who knows?
Well, they're just changing careers. They're not retiring. They're just changing careers.
Maybe.
And,
Yeah,
you know,
maybe just colloquially meant retiring. It's just, oh, we're just quitting the force.
we're retiring from this and
Moving
starting
to Florida,
something
running a
anew.
bar, yeah.
And I'm sure that the writers looked into it just as deeply as we
As
just
they
did.
did police work and laws and stuff. You know what I appreciate? I appreciate that they took the opportunity since they were in Chicago to have a car chase on the L. I thought that was fun. I mean, it was shot a little awkward, but I imagine shooting a car chase on an elevated train system is probably really difficult to do. And they had a lot of fun practical crap with actually putting cars up there. They had a garbage truck grab a car and
That was
up. That was neat.
that
Uh,
was funny.
I thought the gunfight at the end of the movie was a nice attempt with some fun ideas with Gregory Hines rappelling in from on the window washer cables and having the stunt on the glass elevators, and there were some good ideas, but overall I didn't think that ending gunfight was shot very well.
No, no, none of the action was shot well. And I feel as if there was a lot of great thought to the action. Like you said, because I really agree with you in that the chase on the L could have, should have. There were many times I'm like, who's in front? And
Who's driving Jimmy Smith's car?
who's and who's
I think
it
you only
like
see him
are
once at the very end of the entire sequence.
yeah, I'm like, why
Just
who's
the
in
driver, it
front
doesn't
of
matter,
this
but
mess and like why are they going and like who why how, like it was shot really weird because you only like once or twice do you see both cars in the shot and so you're just like
yeah.
I feel like you're following, but you kind of sometimes act like you're leading because you're reacting to the approaching train as if you're in front. Sometimes, like it's just a weird. It was so, and like the repelling, like you said. So there's a lot of things that could have been if they knew how to do action.
Yeah, like a lot of the jokes we pointed out at the front of the discussion, um, in isolation, they're pretty funny. It's just in the context of the scene and the rest of the movie, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of craft, I think, that is missing that makes the movie work. Like Hines and Crystal have genuine great chemistry.
Yes.
I think a better movie would have served them really well. I think if this were just a better film,
Yeah.
like if the writing and the editing and just the film craft were strong, I think we could have had an 80s classic here.
Yeah. They're good. Like, because you could tell that they wanted it. You could tell that they wanted to really sink their teeth into something because that was a great duo. Those two really,
Yeah, and they were trying to it's not as serious as like the Lethal Weapon or 48 Hours movies. They were trying to go
ooh,
for
pardon me.
more of the lighthearted, fun tone of like the Beverly Hills Cop movies, which was also kind of reflected in the very synth-heavy musical score,
Oh my God.
which is typical of
Yes.
earlier 80s, maybe not as late 80s as this was, but I liked it.
I
And
was,
good God, 86 Chicago. Do something about your smog, man. Holy crap, it looks like a level of Turok Dinosaur Hunter from the N64 all up in that city.
I know exactly. All the pop-up. Oh my God. Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. But no, when it started and the theme song and the synthesizer. I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I know this."
Keys right there.
I'm like, "Yep, this is a mood. It is setting the mood right now."
Yeah.
But yeah, but hey, I really liked them, and I thought that that was at least fun. So I had a good time, and eh, yeah,
I
I've seen it now,
I
and it's
enjoyed
good to
many
watch them.
moments of it.
Yeah, and that's the
Overall, I
thing.
don't like the movie, but I
Hey,
we got to make fun of that one. We got to imagine what Jimmy Smits and other women were up to while the gunfight was happening, and that was funny.
there
So
you go.
time well spent.
There you go. Oh man. But we've seen worse.
Yes,
In
yeah,
we have
yeah.
seen
Like
worse.
I'm not feeling really a need to apologize for this one and do
No.
what we do. But all right, so that is my best buddies movie for the month. So what um movies with buds who are besties do you mandate?
So unfortunately, brother, it's Midnight Run.
Oh, it's Midnight Run, huh? Okay.
And I really want to. That's why every time you're talking, you're like, "Is Joey Pants in it?" I'm like, "Yes." You're like, "It's about this." I'm like, "I know. I'm very aware of what it's
It's
about. I watched the
it's making
preview and I'm
sense
choosing
now.
it." Yep. I'm like,
That's
I'm
okay.
like,
As
De
I
Niro.
said,
And you're like, "Let me look it up." And I'm like, "No, it's De Niro." But okay,
yeah.
you go right ahead and look that
Yeah,
up.
as I said, I'm actually interested in seeing it again to see if it holds because I remember really liking this one. So it'll be interesting to go back and go, oh no, I was just this isn't funny anymore. This is crap.
I'm really excited. Uh I asked Jeremy, I said, "I need some buddy movies." And he came in with a list of five different ones, and he
Mhm.
just like rattled them off. And he told me who was in them, and I was like, "Charles Grodin, I haven't seen." I'm like,
Oh,
I want
Beethoven fame?
I'm like, "Sign me up." He danced with Miss Piggy. And so
Oh my God, yes. And one of the I don't remember which Muppet movie it is, but it's definitely one of them.
the caper, the
The
Manhattan
Caper?
one, the Great Muppet Caper, when the diamond
Muppet
necklace or
Caper.
whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay, it is Caper, yeah. I was like,
And
is it the Muppet movie or is it? Yeah, I knew it's one of the either the Muppet movie or the Caper, but yeah,
he's
yeah, you're
so
right.
intense when he dances with her.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah,
"I must watch this preview." And then I saw De Niro and I saw Joey, and I was like, "Sign me up. This is the one." And then when Joey showed up in this one, I was like, "This is definitely the one then."
I mean,
I'm even,
we almost have like a Joey Pants themed month.
and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, that is okay.
That never hurt nobody. So, well, I'm excited for you to be able to see it again. I hope that it holds up for you, and I'm personally excited to watch it for the first time. So,
All
yeah,
right.
Midnight Run.
Okay, cool. So, today's episode may have come to an end, but Best Buds Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie Midnight Run. If you'd like to watch it too, check out the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Let's see if I can get through the rest of this without belching because I can feel it. I can
Uh-oh.
feel it right there.
Oh.
Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. If you enjoy the show and would like to help us reach a wider audience, engagement's key. So if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment. If you're listening on iTunes, rate and review. Much obliged. With that, I'm Andrew. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Andrew Eisen.
Well, I should open a Blue Sky. Why not? I
Yeah.
should. Let me do that one day. But who am I? I'm Kelly. And I'm on Instagram at PimentoLivia10.
We hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone!